told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away.
Hi everyone, my name is Kathy.
And I'm Chloe,
and I am every woman. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we want to talk about entrepreneurship. What they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. Are you an entrepreneur? Have you been an entrepreneur? Do you want to be? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the surprising things, the not so surprising things about entrepreneurship.
Yeah. I mean, I have been in business for quite some time. I always find myself, having a side hustle or something. Always. And I'll tell you, some of the hardest life lessons are through my experience in business.
In fact, I always say, if you're the kind of person who worries about things, doesn't get sleep, just get into business. It will harden you so much. You will fall asleep.
The ultimate character developer. Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about a few things that we think that people don't tell you about being an entrepreneur. And we have a few, I think about 10. It's not everything, but it's our experience, right? Okay. You want to go first?
Okay, I'll start with the first one. The best laid plans fail.
Yeah.
Have you ever had such a brilliant idea? You know that it's brilliant in the core of your being, and it doesn't work?
Yeah. I think with business, you have to always be prepared for the failure, even with a good plan. Because sometimes the plan could be good, but then it's the wrong timing. Or the plan could be good, or the setup is in the wrong place. Maybe you're targeting the wrong audience.
People.
Or the plan could be perfect, but then there's no funding for it. There's no proper funding for it. So I think just going in, knowing that there's a possibility of failure, and the possibility of failure is huge, and just understanding that if it succeeds, it's actually an add-on, then I think you'll be you'll accept it a little bit more easier.
Have you seen people putting so much money into a business idea? And it all goes down the drain. And I mean, I understand them. In the beginning, the plan seems so watertight, and then it doesn't work. So I think it's always good to always leave room for, is it really working?
I think especially when you say, resources, this is what I think. If you have X amount of money to start a business, I usually say split it into two. 50% or that 50% basically. And then the 50 is for setup, and then the other 50 is to reinvest if it's going the right way, so that you're not losing everything. Because sometimes you start a business and then you realize, okay, that was a good business, but for me to get there, I might need to start another business fast as a stepping stone. And I think we're going to talk about this in the points coming up next. So
make your plan, but also wait and see if it's working. It might be a good plan, just needs some adjustments. And it might be just a plan that's not working.
All right. The next point is it's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Connections are everything. It's everything. I mean, it's one thing going to a place and introducing yourself and what you do. It's another thing altogether if you're introducing yourself to someone you know. You're introducing your services to someone you know. They're already friendly. They already know you.
To sell.
Definitely.
It's an easier pitch.
Even if you don't know that person, you know someone who knows that person. It's just the connection.
And especially if you have like networks that have a wider audience. Nowadays we even have influencers and stuff like that. If you have a connection that can actually place you in a platform that can set you up for success, even better. So I would say before you get into business, especially let's say if you're coming from a point of the career, like you're in a professional job, build those networks, hone those relationships, let them be solid because you will need them. So make sure that you keep those networks so that, because you never know who you need and who you might, who might be a good fit for making you or helping you set up your business for success. And sometimes it's not always even about even people to buy your services or products. It can be even someone who can be able to place you in a room full of investors, for example, or someone who can help you set up maybe a system that is needed for the business, or maybe someone who can help you set up your social media marketing. Like, it can be anyone.
Or someone who can just help you get into something.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the key learning there is don't ever disrespect people.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
And you're not disrespecting because you already might meet them someone who would help you. It's just it's just a good thing to do.
Yes.
You know, you know, someone who was seemingly useless for you.
Yeah.
Could be useful.
Yeah.
The same way you could be useful to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This one is a mean one. You will burn.
Oh yeah.
You will make losses.
You will make losses. You will burn. You burn your money.
Yeah.
You burn your energy.
Yeah.
You burn your time. And so once you know this ahead of time, then you can mentally and psychologically prepare yourself for downtimes like those. And what do you do when that happens? Imagine you just take a few days, wallow into your misery, but not for too long. Okay? Then regroup and start back afresh and say, okay, maybe I can try from this angle. But be prepared for losses. Be prepared for losses. And I usually say, especially if you're setting up a business, not because you need the money immediately. If you're setting the business because you need the money immediately, then that's one thing. But if you're setting a business for the future, which is ideal, don't wait until you've lost your job to set up the business. You know, if you're privileged enough to be in a position where you can set up your business even while you still have some other sort of income, let's say like a job, set it up in advance, because businesses take a long time to pick up and stabilize. And in the process, you will make losses as you try to improve, right? So, for example, I run a beauty shop, and I have to, I source my products from the US. And when I started, it was so nice. The Kenyan shilling was so strong. And so I was able to bring the items, good rate, and sell them quite affordably within the country. Then what happened? COVID happened. The economy crashed. The Kenyan shilling has become quite low, like it's not as strong as it used to be. And then on top of all that, the shipping, the time of shipping became even longer because of the fact that, people are not going to work as frequently as they used to before COVID. And in the meantime, I'm still expected to pay rent and pay bills that come with it, whatever, without the sales. And so at that point, you will make losses for sure. And many times you feel like, okay, now I'm even spending my own money to support the business. Is it worth it? And do I just shut down and have moments like those? So I would say just prepare yourself mentally. It's not easy. If you can even have a support system, someone else who is maybe your confidant, who also understands the business, someone who can, bounce off ideas and let you know, no, it's, maybe it's just for the short time, maybe you can support it up to this much. But be prepared to make the losses. Be prepared to make the losses.
I think the key thing is to learn from the losses, know which adjustments to make, and generally really don't play your ego. Like there's no place for the ego in business, I think. Because if you're so hard-headed, then you're never gonna learn, and you have to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. You wanna go?
The next one is I think related to what we were trying to talk about, like losses, and it takes time to peak. The next point is that it's not a marathon, it's a journey. Businesses take time to settle in and build up and gain momentum, right?
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a short race.
Oh,
it's a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a short race.
Yeah, so small failures are just that. Adjust, keep going. Know when to, know how to make the right decision as per the situation. Because the loss could just be, I had misread the audience. I'm gonna change and then I'm gonna watch. Or our margins are not good. How do we adjust this? But you're learning. And then you don't be short-sighted.
Yeah.
I see, say, for example, you're selling food. The temptation to sell food that was cooked yesterday is so huge because you didn't make your profits yesterday, and food can have small margins sometimes. But if you look in the long run, then people are going to stop buying altogether.
Yeah.
So you might as well make the loss for yesterday.
Yeah.
But make some money for today.
And maintain your clientele.
And maintain, that's the most important thing. So you'll see, for example, some people will give freebies, some extras. It's, again, you're building relationships.
Yes.
You're seeing the future, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be prepared to run the long marathon. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is you need to spend money to make money. I think especially when you start making a little bit of money, like profit, it's very easy and tempting to start, now paying yourself and spending. But again, it boils down to what vision do you have for the business? Because if you have a vision, then it's important to have a percentage of the money going back, reinvesting into the business. And the reason for this is, one, as we said, things change all the time. It could get to a point where, the business hits an expected, slowdown, like during the pandemic. COVID. Yeah. Who knew that was coming, And all of a sudden, everybody is not spending anymore. At that point, it's when you can use your profits and gains to cushion the business, right? Yeah. You can use the money that you reinvest back. You can use it to expand your basket, your product offering. So you were selling food, you can now start selling your recipes or something like that, so that you can reinvent yourself. Because the other thing that I have learned about business is that you can't be stuck up doing the same thing over and over forever. You have to keep reinventing yourself. And one of the ways to reinvent yourself is keep expanding what you're offering your customers, right? And so how do you do that if you're not reinvesting back your profits? And sometimes it can just be so that you can build in even more stock. Yeah. So that's that. You have to spend money to make money. And sometimes it just means spending money on marketing.
That's true.
Yeah. Supporting influencers to have high engagement rates to help you sell your services.
That's true. That's just a big lesson that I've been learning myself. Yeah. You can't do it all, especially if it's not something within your skill set. Yeah. You will try not to spend because you feel like you don't have that money to spend. But in not spending it, you're losing on all of this which you would have. Absolutely. Yeah. So there's no other way.
All right. Moving on to the next point.
Record keeping.
Hey.
Oh man.
So
I struggle with this one.
Yeah. So the way in school we used to say, this mathematics, where
will it take us?
Where will I even use it?
This is
this math. Let me tell you, if you're starting a business, whether you hire the best of the best, you have to know how to keep records, and you have to know how to balance figures. Record keeping is important because you have to manage. If it's physical items, you have inventory. If it's online services, you still have to calculate how much time you're putting in, how much money you're putting in, what is the return on investment. You can't run away from record, no matter how much you have in terms of even staff.
Because then you really have no way of knowing if it's making sense or not. Yeah,
absolutely. So record keeping is important. It could be even basic use of Excel sheets. Which most of us use even now. But that is something that you have to do, especially if you're
even writing down. Like small places, just write down.
Just understanding the basic formulas of how much the services cost or the goods cost you. Not just the purchasing of the stock, not just the amount of purchasing the stock, but the effort to purchase that stock, the transport, and all that. How do you allocate that cost per item? Exactly. How to calculate your margin, your overhead, gross profit, net profit. So just understanding all those things is quite important.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're that person who was saying, hey, Ima, how will it help us in the future? Well, business will.
But sometimes when you work with an
there.
accountant, they can put in formulas that for you just feed in the information.
Yeah.
And then it's able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're saying even if you have that accountant, you will still have to work with numbers at some point.
Yeah.
So the basic
Definitely.
understanding
Yes.
is needed.
Yeah.
And understanding how those figures affect your business. Yeah.
That's
okay.
true.
Okay. All right. You want to go next?
Okay.
Yeah.
People close to you might not support you. In fact, a lot of times. Sorry, go.
I was just going to say, let's take a moment and absorb that. A quick moment of silence. Did they hear correctly? I think you need to say it again.
Well, say it again. People close to you, friends and family, might not support you.
Not might, will not support you.
Get over it.
Get over it. So if you're banking on the initial stages of your business being supported by family and friends, you're in your head about it. Forget it.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. Is it ideal? No. But is it the reality? Absolutely.
It is.
So prepare for it.
Yeah.
Don't package your product or pricing around what your family members think or what they want.
Well, if you're an exception and your family supported you or they support you, good for you. But for the most part, don't depend on that.
Don't depend on that.
No.
Yeah. But I want to talk to family and friends.
That's true.
Coming from the point of being a business owner, I want to talk to family and friends and tell them, if you can, if just support.
Yeah.
That one sale might go a really long way. Okay, to support your family member or your friend. And don't support by asking for family discount. No. If anything, you should be the one tipping the business because you don't even know at what point this person will break even. So don't be the one asking for this. Discounts cost money, and what that means is that it eats into the profit margins of this person who maybe is really absorbing losses for now because they're hoping to finally break even and start making profits a year or 2 years from now. So you asking for discounts is not necessarily helping them.
The business.
Yeah. That's all I have
to say. So be helpful.
Be helpful.
When you're doing the business, think about that person.
Yeah.
Be helpful. And if you need a service that someone around you is offering, seriously.
Yeah.
Just take it.
Recommend. Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes the support is not you purchasing directly. The support will be being an advocate or an ambassador for the business. Oh, my sister does this. Oh, my best friend does this.
Yeah.
That's support.
Support.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just even just being there and asking them, how are you doing? How's the business doing? Genuinely, not so that you can, bring your negative emotions towards them. Because business is difficult. It's really difficult, and sometimes just a word of encouragement
and sometimes
can go a long way.
Sometimes support is just finding a connection.
Yeah.
Like, I had the funding.
Yeah.
Of this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't have to be a direct, I'm buying or. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that is true.
All right.
Next one. Yeah, the next one is that in business, you need to put your emotions aside. No emotions attached.
They're not useful to you at this point.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them.
You see, like the way, especially us Nairobians, we've practiced situationships with no strings attached. Kind of the same thing, but in business, it's emotions.
Strange analogy. No hey, we'll take it.
No emotions attached. Okay?
Yeah. So there's no, hey, they didn't buy. My gosh. No. There's no time for that. Or, oh my God, we didn't send anything. And so I'm crying. And it's killing me.
Yeah.
Cry a little bit, not too long.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, dust off and go back.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. With you, get into business knowing that it's me, Chloe, getting into business, but that business does not define who I am.
Yeah.
And it's important because you will fail. We started by saying that you will fail.
Yeah.
So you
expect it.
Expect it. It
Yeah.
will come
Yeah.
one way or another. There's no way it's a straight line. And if it's a straight line, either you're not doing your figures well,
Yeah. Or something is coming.
or something is coming.
Oh,
And-
you're extremely lucky.
Yeah. So remove your emotions from
Mm-hmm.
the business so that even when it gets to a point where one, you succeed
Mhm.
and blow up more than you expected, it doesn't get into your head about it,
Yeah.
so that you're still alert to see, okay, what else can I do? How
Yeah.
can I improve? How can I grow?
Yeah.
So that you don't get into your head about it, number one, or just, get to a point where you feel like, okay, in Kenya we say tumefika, which translates to I have arrived, meaning that you have made it, right?
Yeah.
No. And another reason why is so that you also know at what point to let go if it's not working.
If it's complete, you've tried everything.
Yes.
And it's still not working.
And it's not working, then you need to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be
to
easier.
detach that from you.
Yes.
You are not a failure. The business failed.
Yeah, the business failed.
So
yeah,
you're closing shop.
Yeah.
Regrouping.
Yes.
And figuring out what the next step is.
Absolutely.
I think in the methods of stress management, business should be one of them. Should be the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, business, if you see a stressed business person, that's a young business. A lot of times, I find.
Yeah.
By the time you're older in business, man, you owe, you have debt, and it's all manner of things.
Yeah.
But you're just walking.
Yeah.
One foot in front of the other.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So no emotional attachments. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The next one.
In a young business, you are everything.
Yeah.
The CEO, the receptionist, the marketer, the cleaner, the social media expert,
supply chain,
every
production.
I think that's harder than it sounds.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
Yeah.
I find that very, very hard.
Yeah,
it's because most of the times you're normally good at something, and you're not good at others. And if you're doing business coming from employment, maybe in employment you were hired in your area of expertise.
Yeah.
But now you're in business,
Yeah.
so you have to do even the things which you used to know.
Right.
That department, this department, that department. But now it's all yours.
Yeah.
And that can be a test.
So
proper test.
Yeah. So what are we saying? We're saying prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Assuming it's a startup, for example, where you might not even have the money to hire an expertise in that area. You will need to be the customer facing person, be the one to do all these things, and it can be draining. But you can equip yourself by learning. There are very many free online courses on how to do some of these things at the very basic level.
Yeah.
You have to be able to learn how to do all those things, especially in the initial stages.
Yeah.
But be prepared. And I would say even when you get to a point where you're able to hire, you still need to know the basics.
Yes.
So that you can keep tabs and check.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think you could also take advantage of, say, consultants, because you can have someone who only comes part-time or who just helps you from a distance.
Yeah.
If it is something you truly can't do. Like there's people who can't keep books no matter what you do.
Yeah.
The figures is not their thing.
Yeah.
So you can have someone who you pay a small amount to just do for you the numbers.
Yeah.
And then from there you proceed. If truly that is what makes sense for you. But if you can do it, even though you're struggling, you try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can move on to the next point, which I feel like is very closely related to what we just talked about. And the last point we are going to address today is that the vision is yours. The vision of the business as a business owner is yours. Don't expect employees, for example, to have the same vision as you.
Definitely.
It's important to have that understanding, one, so that we talked about detaching emotionally, so that you can also not emotionally be dependent on your employees and get very frustrated if they don't understand the vision. The vision belongs to you.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's important to identify that. That also helps you to always be in touch with the business. So that you can, if you see something going away from the vision, you can be able to refocus, right?
Exactly.
So the vision belongs to you.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
And especially when you're in a business that is not common, if I may put it that way.
Mm.
It's not something, it's something of the norm.
Yeah, like a
You
new
know?
thing.
Exactly. For example, I make educational resources.
Mm.
They are made, yes,
Mm.
but a lot of people bring them in. Not many people make.
Yeah.
So I make them. They're made in Kenya.
Yeah.
And sometimes I make things that exist. We just don't have them in Kenya. But
Yeah.
they exist.
Yeah.
And sometimes I make something that does not exist.
Yeah.
It's just in my teaching.
Yeah.
I have figured out
Yeah.
what resource I need to help.
Yeah.
And in that case,
yes,
this point becomes very valid.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're working with a manufacturer who's not an educator. So for them, they're making aesthetics
Yes.
in mind.
But you're looking for the practicality.
No. And they're wondering, why does this thing have to be landscape and not portrait? Like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, you would probably not understand. Just do it exactly as I'm saying. And you see, you realize at that point that you have to okay every step. Otherwise, you keep going round in circles. Yeah.
The vision belongs to you.
The vision belongs to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the 10 points we had prepared for you today. As we said, they're not all the lessons that we've learned or have been learned by other people in business, but these are our quick experiences that we wanted to share with you. But we must say this, just like, other things, business has to be done. And I think it's an important thing to be able to once in a lifetime say you've owned a business in one way or another. And so some of these things will probably touch one or two of you because you will have experienced business at one point in your life, right? And so we hope you've enjoyed the video, but we want to do one thing. We want you guys to share links to your businesses in the comment section, and we will pick one interesting business idea, invite you to the channel, and you can tell us your experience in the business journey. And before we go, as we said, we also run our own businesses, and we are gonna just mention them here and leave links to the businesses. So Kathy, business is
I have several. I'm just gonna talk about one.
Okay, there.
Okay. So I make educational resources.
Yeah.
So I create them.
Yeah.
I design them. I take them somewhere. They're made, and then I sell them. But I put value adds. They come with videos. They come with booklets. I make it from the point of view of a teacher.
Yeah.
So they're called Golden Rays Educational Toys. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
So and they can be ordered by individuals and schools alike.
Yeah. Go support, follow her social media pages, give her a call, see, watch the videos. She also has a YouTube channel with the videos for the educational Golden Race Toys. We'll link everything on the screen and in the description box below. And then for me, I own an online beauty store, which recently also has a physical store in Nairobi. It's jsbeauty.ke on social, jsbeauty.ke on Instagram, jsbeauty.ke on Facebook, and jessential.com online. We sell personal care products, beauty products, makeup items, and most recently we also started stocking up personal and body care products for men and babies as well. So go support, follow, and you'll be getting authentic stuff and authentic, nice brands from the US. Yeah. Okay. So again, please leave a link to your business. We'd like to see what kind of businesses you guys are doing out there.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick one.
Yeah.
And then invite you over to tell us about your business, how you started it, what made you start the business, what you're selling, what drives you, what's the future of the business. And
teach us something we don't know.
Yes, and most importantly, the challenges that you've overcome while
and how you did it.
Yes,
give us tips.
Yes, on how to actually set up a successful business, right? Okay, guys, we hope you've enjoyed today's video. It was a little different, but I really enjoyed it.
It's great.
Yeah. And as usual, like, comment, subscribe. By the way, guys, do you know that I realized that 70% of you people 70% are watching our videos and are not subscribed. Why?
Surely.
Why?
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Subscribe, give us a like, and let us know that we are giving you content that you enjoy, right? Anyway, guys, until next time, bye.
It's your fatal